Next, I'd like to introduce City Manager Bill Bell again as we transition into the now part of our presentation. So Bill can tell us a little bit about what's happening in Montrose right now.
I want to also give a shout out to Public Works Director Jim Scheid for all of his work on the City Hall renovation project. We also have some of our audience members here from our architectural team. It was just a great group project. We had some amazing people working on that project, and that's something we can all be really proud of. I know we had people visiting our community recently from other towns across Colorado, and they say great things about the look and feel and the welcoming aspect of our new City Hall. So thanks to everybody for working on that. I just want to highlight a few different things. It's all on the one slide. Anne made it really easy for me, but I want to talk to you a little bit about each of these topics for just a minute, and then I want to start a video where you'll hear from Michelle Wingfield from our DART program and Anthony Russo from Economic Development, and you'll get to hear directly from them. They're the ones out on the street doing all the work. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about the overall state of our city right now. So we are an amazing community. I just had the opportunity to tour other states like Oregon and Washington with my daughter. We were looking at colleges. Just came back last night, and I'm really thankful to be back in Montrose. We have a wonderful community. We have the outdoor recreation. We have the beauty that we all moved here for. But we also have a lot of really new, exciting things happening in our community. When we travel the states, we travel out of state, we come back with a different perspective. We're able to see and feel what's really happening here in Montrose. If you take politics out of it, it's hard to argue with the changes being faced by our community, and most of them are for the good. There's always a few things, like the mayor mentioned, that we're still working on, we struggle with, like any community of our size. We are growing at a very stable rate, just shy of 3% a year. Not all of our growth are retirees. We also have younger people coming in, adding to the workforce, and for that we're really thankful. A few of the things we're going to talk about tonight, especially out in the tables when you come to visit with us. Cost of housing is on the rise. We need to stabilize that. We're, as Jace mentioned in the video, working on leveraging grant dollars from outside of Montrose to help us build affordable housing, multifamily housing units, diversity of housing with the changes in the land use code, but also market rate housing for people who need apartments that are modernized and have storage facilities for their outdoor recreation equipment and that kind of thing. So we are trying to develop a variety of housing types that can meet the needs of a variety of populations. Everybody else is doing that in Colorado as well. So we are in the same boat as everyone on that front, and we talk a lot at statewide meetings on best practices, and we try to bring some of those here to Montrose. On the top of the slide, just wanted to remind people and thank you. As the mayor mentioned, we don't often go after tax increases here in Montrose. We don't have a city property tax. We don't have a mill levy that comes to the city of Montrose, and so we are really reliant. About 90% of our funds come from sales tax. And over the years, we estimate anecdotally about 60% of that are people coming in from outside of our community. And so having recreational assets, tourism assets, restaurants and things for people to do are really important for us as a community, because that adds to our general fund, which is what we do street maintenance, street projects, and capital projects out of it. So it's really important. So when we went and we analyzed the lodging taxes around the state, we did find that we were the lowest, or one of the lowest, in all of Colorado. We did go to the voters, and by a narrow margin, we were able to approve an increase to 6%, which is below the state average of, I think, 6.7%. But it gives us the ability to dedicate funds to a variety of topics that we heard from the community were really important. I was really proud of our elected officials in the city council and department heads. We heard from different groups during the process of discussing these things at public meetings, and we actually delayed it a little bit to add in public transit at the tail end of the process. And I thought that was really good. We could have moved forward without taking that input and changing what we were looking at doing and just build more of a tourism fund. But we decided to go ahead and take that input into account and add something for public transportation here in our community. So we can talk more out there, but it's really important when you go to the voters, in our opinion, that you tell them how you're going to spend their money. We just aren't here to ask for a handout and we're going to spend it however we like. And so we're going to increase our special events, our community events, and access to those events, provide more of those events for the community. We're going to help with public transportation. We're going to help with some of the infrastructure improvements that are related to the growing community and those types of things that were all outlined in that ballot language. So that was a really exciting thing for us. We didn't know if that was going to pass, and we're really thankful that the voters showed faith in us and how to use the tax dollars wisely. There's been, if you're tracking our public packets, every month we get a report from the finance department to city council on how we're trending in the world of sales tax and revenue collection and those types of things. You might see on there when we're talking about hotel or lodging tax that it looks down in part of our community and it's up in another part of the community. And that's because we have a brand new hotel we're really proud of in the URA in Colorado Outdoors, the Fairfield Inn by Marriott. And with any new shiny thing, it attracts travelers right away. And so the money that's being spent staying in that hotel may have been spent previously at some of our other hotels, but over time it's starting to balance itself out. So the first few months that's to be expected, and then it balances out over time. We also know that the Holiday Inn had some major renovations this year as well during that cycle, and that had a limited number of rooms available, and so some of their revenue's down because of that. But now it should catapult forward with some of their major renovations to make it a nicer place here in Montrose. We also started out a new venture called Montrose Lifestyle. It's something that we've been talking about for over a decade. When we first created the Office of Business and Tourism years ago in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau and the businesses, we talked about the Stay Here, Play Everywhere slogan. We talked about how to keep people in our community, not just attract new people, but retain the people that we already have, and what kind of offerings and what kind of amenities are the people here looking for. And that's really how we have guided our efforts in business development and some of the things around our community. What we heard over the years is we're lacking in some things for just locals. We are focusing a lot of our efforts on tourism and on attracting new people, but what are you doing for those of us who have been here for decades? How are you making our lives better and increasing our quality of life? So a lot of our major capital projects, like the Connect Trail Initiative along the river corridor, the outdoor amphitheater, supporting the Recreation District's Rec Center Initiative, and the schools initiatives to build new schools for the community. Those are all things for locals, but we didn't really have a dedicated program, and that's what Montrose Lifestyle is. So if you get a chance, talk to Rob Joseph out in the lobby about the Montrose Lifestyle. It's truly for locals and by locals, and if you want to get excited about that and participate in that effort to really communicate to our local citizens, or be somebody who can write blogs for us or do videos for us, we would love to have that. So talk to Rob out in the lobby. And that's what Montrose Lifestyle is all about. The DART, Montrose DART, is the Development and Revitalization Team. We used to call it our DDA, the Downtown Development Authority. That was a quasi-governmental entity that we dissolved several years ago and replaced it with DART. It's still under the National Main Street Program, however. And so under Colorado Main Street through the Department of Local Affairs and Downtown Colorado, Inc., we learn the best practices for main streets and for small businesses around the country. Entrepreneurship is a really big thing, promoting not only attraction of new businesses, but expanding the ones that we have and retaining the ones that we have. It doesn't do any good if you're bringing in new businesses, but you're losing an equal or more number out the back door. So business retention and expansion, as well as attraction, is all part of DART, and you'll hear from Michelle about that. And she's done amazing things. I'm really proud of her efforts, and she's developed a great team. And then the Montrose Urban Renewal Authority. We talk about it a lot. I've done some recent videos on it, but it's worth mentioning as a reminder that it's easy to confuse the private side of our Colorado Outdoors development and the public side. They're both called Colorado Outdoors. One has an LLC after it. So the private side, the landowners, that own property there, and they sell that property to private entities to build new businesses and new buildings. It's called Colorado Outdoors. But also, we have a public venture called the Montrose Urban Renewal Authority, which is a quasi-governmental organization made up of 9 board members. 5 of those are our city council. We have a school district representative, a county representative being our county assessor. We have an at-large representative, and then we have a special districts representative who represents all of the other special districts. In Colorado, we were the second community under the new law related to Urban Renewal Authority that required us to negotiate taxing revenue sharing agreements with all 11 taxing entities that owned or had property within the jurisdiction of Colorado Outdoors. We were really excited. We were able in 2017 to negotiate with all of those taxing entities in about 90 days and get it up and running. It's a 25-year project, so it goes from 2017 to 2042. And basically, you take the value of that land and you add new buildings to it, it increases the value of that land. You take the new revenue generated and you reinvest it in that particular property in that area for the life of the URA. I can talk to you. I'll be at the table out in the lobby if you have any questions. I have some info boards out there with details on tax income and financing and how it all works, and I'd love to talk to you about it. I also serve as the executive director of the URA, so really excited about that. We are one of the most successful URAs in the state of Colorado. We've done a lot of things in a short amount of time. Just since 2017, we have almost $100 million worth of private investment in the URA, leveraged by about $13 million of public dollars.